Part 27. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 261. Even the 5 elements spiritual sword can't damage this life crystal. Lin Su was slightly startled. The 5 elements spiritual sword had been warmed up by him to the level of a mid-grade spiritual weapon. Although it did not form a sword array to attack, judging from the results of the test just now, even if all the 5 elements spiritual swords were released to form the Dantian 5 elements sword formation, I'm afraid it can't do anything to this life crystal. Look. I told you, ordinary attacks can't damage this life crystal. Earth Spirit Pig curled his lips. Stop talking nonsense. Tell me quickly, how can I break this life crystal? Lin Su glared at Tulingzhu angrily. Actually, it's very simple. Just use your soul fire to directly refine this life crystal. Refining. That's right. Do you know why Ghost Crocodile is called Ghost Crocodile? It's because of the life crystal in its body. The souls of all creatures killed and devoured by Ghost Crocodile will be imprisoned in this life crystal, and they want to be eliminated. This life crystal can only be refined with soul fire. Tulingzhu said, smiling at Lin Su and winking, brother, if you refine this life crystal, your little world can definitely be further stabilized into a real world. Can the small world evolve? Xiaotu, are you kidding me? Lin Su's eyes lit up. His spiritual field space has not changed much over the years. The last epiphany finally made the spiritual field space transform from the initial place to the small world. Unfortunately, the enlightenment was interrupted just as it took shape. Brother, I never talk big words. If you don't believe it, you will know if you try it. Tulingzhu spread his hands. So I really have no reason to let this beast go. A bloodthirsty cold light flashed in Lin Su's eyes, and the black soul fire emerged from the palm of his hand and rose as high as a person, turning into a fire dragon and rushing towards the life crystal. You evil beast, you have done many evil things, and you fell into my hands. This is also a natural cycle, so die. The soul fire wrapped the life crystal in it and burned it for refining. Waves of black energy were forced out of the life crystal. After being refined by the soul fire, it turned into little bits of green smoke, transforming into phantoms, among which there were people and others. There were monsters and many strange creatures that Lin Su had never seen before. Although their races were different in appearance, all without exception had a smile of relief on their faces. After revealing their bodies, they bowed to Lin Su and then disappeared into the air. These are ghost servants who are trapped in the crystal of life. Brother, please wish them to get rid of their shackles and re-enter the reincarnation. This is also a great merit, Tulingzhu said with a smile. Not bad, Lin Su nodded with a smile. Although he didn't care too much about the so-called karma and merits, it was a good thing to save these ghost servants who were angered by the ghost crocodile. At this moment, he looked at those who got the liberated soul, showed itself and bowed to itself, feeling quite content in its heart. Ho! Ouch! What seemed so comfortable to Lin Su was a nightmare for the ghost crocodile. Originally, he had been rolling around for a long time and failed to get Lin Su out. The ghost crocodile was about to sneak back into the swamp to use his power to refine Lin Su. Who could I once thought that before it could use its energy, the life crystal in the body suddenly felt a burst of severe pain, which stimulated the ghost crocodile to go crazy and turn the swampland within 100 miles around upside down. Although the ghost crocodile is already equivalent to the middle stage of nascent soul, its life structure is different from that of ordinary monsters, and its intelligence is extremely low. It can only act with the instinct of killing, which is something that ordinary low-level immortal cultivators can do. He couldn't even ignore it. At this moment, the life crystal was calcined and refined by Lin Su with soul fire, and he could only roll and roar like crazy to vent. The ancient human and demon tribes changed their expressions upon hearing this. The ghost crocodile, which is said to have absolute defense, encounters a being like Lin Su who gets into its belly to attack and also has the soul fire to restrain it. It can only be a tragedy. As the life crystals were refined bit by Lin Su's soul fire, the ghost crocodile's death struggle became weaker and weaker. Finally, as the life crystals were completely refined, the ghost crocodile let out its last miserable howl, and its body fell directly into the swamp, without any trace of life. The refined life crystal turned into a ball of liquid shining with bright green light. Powerful life force and soul breath diffused from it. With a thought in Lin Su's mind, the green liquid turned into a torrent and enveloped it. Among them, if the arm directs. Xiao Tu, what should we do next? The green liquid formed after the refining of the life crystal is somewhat similar to the spring of life that Lin Su encountered in the elves in the Tianling realm, but the life breath it contains is stronger than the spring of life. More than 100 times. Just put it directly into the spiritual field space and merge it with the origin of the power of the world, Tu Lingzi said. Lin Su nodded, and with a thought, the green liquid poured into his body. Within a moment, it had completely integrated into his body and entered the spiritual field space. As soon as the green liquid formed after the refining of life crystals entered the Lingtian space, Lin Su felt a familiar throbbing in the Lingtian space. This feeling was similar to the feeling that appeared in the Lingtian space when he was in the midst of enlightenment. Changes and similarities. The original power of the world, fusion. With a slight shout in his heart, Lin Su manipulated the world's origin power and the green liquid in the Lingtian space to begin to merge. Since the Lingtian space was transformed into the prototype of the small world, Lin Su's ability to control the Lingtian space has been greatly enhanced. Now there is no need to sink your mind into the spiritual field space anymore. You can control everything in the spiritual field space with just one thought. Boom! Sudden thunderous sound rang out in the spiritual field space. Zizuir and others who were cultivating in the spiritual field space opened their eyes and looked up at the sky with horror. This space is evolving. The space is mutating. This is the rhythm of completely transforming into a small world. My husband has another adventure. Zizuir and the other girls stared with their eyes wide open, feeling the breath that made their souls throb, and exclaimed. It doesn't seem like an epiphany, it seems that the power of the origin of the world is rapidly strengthening. What a wonderful feeling, has Brother Lin got another treasure? Yuluasha Shenbaiun sensed it quietly, and a strange light flashed in her eyes. My little brother is really different from ordinary people. That's right, Lindsay is my brother, so he is naturally deeply influenced by me. Ha ha ha, Zhang Yunfan laughed loudly, but it was a pity that Yuluasha just looked at him coldly with a look of contempt, which made Zhang Yunfan's laughter quickly weaken, and finally he closed his mouth with a look of sullenness. This breath is the breath of the soul source of the ghost crocodile. The usually sleepy tyrant bear king also crawled out of his bear den. This was the second time he was alarmed during this period of time. The last time was when Lin Su entered the state of enlightenment. His understanding of the Great Way increased rapidly at an incredible speed, driving the spiritual field space to evolve from the initial place to the prototype of the small world. This time, under the action of an energy that Tyrant Bear King was very familiar with, the spiritual field space began to evolve further. If it continues like this, it won't take long to completely complete the evolution of the small world and stabilize it. Tyrant Bear King was once one of the 8 demon kings in the fairy world. He was knowledgeable and recognized the power that merged with the world origin power of the spiritual field space at once. It was the breath of the soul source of the ancient evil beast ghost crocodile. The ghost crocodile should have been extinct in the human world, but Lin Kid actually encountered it. Grandpa Bear, I was right. This kid has great luck protecting him. Although the ancient evil beast, the ghost crocodile, has long been extinct in the human world, it can still be seen in the fairy world. However, due to the special structure of its body, the ghost crocodile in the fairy world will be taken away by the immortals of the puppet immortal sect as soon as it appears. The tyrant bear king happened to have a human friend who was a disciple of the puppet immortal section. The tyrant bear king had seen a puppet ghost crocodile that had reached the tribulation period from him, and was very familiar with the life crystal in the ghost crocodile's body. However, in the fairy world, this life crystal has another name, called the soul source body. The reason why it is called the soul source body is that it has a strong vitality and is also the crystal of soul power. Generally speaking, the more creatures the ghost crocodile kills, the more soul power contained in the soul source body in its body. The most powerful ancient evil beast, the ghost crocodile, can only reach the late stage of tribulation at most, because its intelligence is too low and it is murderous, so it can't survive the heavenly tribulation at all. Therefore, although this kind of evil beast is not rare in the fairy world, the soul source contained in its body is not much soul power. Take the puppet ghost crocodile in the tribulation period that tyrant bear king has seen, for example. The soul power contained in its soul source is not even 1/3 of the ghost crocodile that Lin Su has killed now. Generally speaking, the soul source of the ghost crocodile is mostly used for alchemy. Because it contains both life force and soul power, it is mostly used to refine the immortal pill of recovery. Although this kind of immortal pill is also extremely precious, it is really a small witch compared to its real effect. As one of the 8 demon kings in the fairy world, Tyrant Bear King naturally knows that the real function of the soul source of this ghost crocodile is to merge with the world origin power of the small world, just like what Lin Su is doing now, to promote the evolution of the origin power and evolve into a real small world. Of course, knowing is one thing, and being able to put it into action is another. After all, few people have such heaven-defying luck as Lin Su, who can get the life-giving green lotus of the Master of Life and have the initial land when his cultivation is still so low. Lin Boy, Grandpa Bear, I am really curious, how far can you go? Maybe one day, you can really get justice from the heaven for your master. For a long time, Tyrant Bear King has always looked at Lin Su as a spectator. The reason why he stayed in the spiritual field space was because he really had nowhere to go. Once he left, he would be wiped out by the laws of heaven. Only by following Lin Su, he would have a day to return to the fairy land. Although Tyrant Bear King occasionally lends power to Lin Su, and guides Lin Su and his lover and friends in their cultivation from time to time, he does not feel a sense of belonging to Lin Su from the bottom of his heart. Yes, Lin Su's luck is indeed very heaven-defying, and his fate with the fairy is deep, but there are also many geniuses like Lin Su in the 3,000 worlds who are as lucky as the sky. There is a saying in the immortal path that is an unchanging truth. No matter how talented a person is, he is nothing until he truly grows up. Tyrant Bear King has lived for tens of thousands of years, and he has seen too many geniuses who died in the middle of their lives. So all along, although Tyrant Bear King did look at Lin Su differently, he did not completely put all his hopes on Lin Su, even though Lin Su had the initial land and the inheritance of the Lord of Life. The last time Lin Su encountered a death calamity, the Life Master's natal green lotus saved his life, because the Life Master's last trace of consciousness still remained in the Life Green Lotus. Now the Life Green Lotus has completely merged with Lin Su's soul. Once he encounters a death calamity again, no one can save Lin Su. Yes, Ideal's current strength in the human world can be considered invincible, but above the human world there is the spirit world and the fairy world. Who knows what kind of enemies Lin Su will encounter in the future? Take the spirit world for example. Once Lin Su enters the spirit world, all his advantages will disappear. At that time, can Lin Su, who only has an initial land, really ascend smoothly and overcome all obstacles? Tyrant Bear King expressed doubts about this. However, these doubts completely disappeared from this moment, because Lin Su's small world was completely stable. This is different from those small worlds opened up according to certain spatial laws. This is a small world truly formed by the initial land, and there is even a chance to form a truly complete world in the future. Of course, the more important thing is that Lin Su's safety is now truly guaranteed. Unlike the time when he was in the initial place, the spiritual field space was attached to Lin Su's body at that time. Lin Su could only enter the spiritual field space with his mind at most, but now it is different. After the small world is truly formed, the spiritual field space has its own independent space dimension. Lin Su can enter the spiritual field space completely at any time to avoid danger, not only with his mind, but also with his body. Not only that, after entering the spiritual field space, Lin Su can still feel everything in the outside space, and can even control the spiritual field space to shuttle in the outside space without any hindrance, and only one space node will be saved in the outside world. Even if there is a person with much more strength than Lin Su, as long as Lin Su's breath is not locked when he enters the spiritual field space, once he enters the spiritual field space, no one can find him at all. It can be said that he is completely invincible. Of course, Lin Su is not clear about this now. He is trying to control the fusion of the world's origin power and the green liquid formed by the ghost crocodile's life crystal, feeling the further expansion of the spiritual field space, feeling the little bit of growth of the world's origin power, and feeling the sun-shaped sphere in the sky becoming more and more energetic. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 262. Although the previous linked space already had the prototype of a small world, and even a tiny sun had been produced, it lacked a very important thing, that is, the power of creation. It is true that the magical spiritual field in the spiritual field space has the magical effect of accelerating ripening and evolution, but none of this is created out of nothing, just like Lin Su must have the seeds of the 5 elements spiritual bamboo in order to cultivate mature 5 elements spiritual bamboo. Cannot be created out of thin air. As the linked space was completely transformed into a stable small world, Lin Su felt that there was an additional power in the world's origin power of the linked space, the power of creation. Watching the colorful butterfly he had sketched out with his creative power turn from illusion to reality, and finally fly, Lin Su's surprise could not be described in words. This is the power of creativity, it is so amazing. Got it? At this moment, Lin Su felt like a creator, as if he could create everything in the space between heaven and earth with a wave of his hand. If you can create butterflies, can you create humans? With this thought, it expanded uncontrollably, and Lin Su couldn't wait to use his creative power to outline the human form. How could it be consumed so quickly? No. After tightly sketching a few strokes, Lin Su felt that his creative power was being consumed as quickly as diabetes, and it was impossible to maintain it. He felt as if his chest was hit by a heavy hammer, and he opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. His head seemed to be about to burst, and the dragon energy all over his body was running around uncontrollably. A huge black palm suddenly stuck to Lin Su's back, and a strong force rushed into Lin Su's body, forcibly suppressing his rampaging Long Yuan. Boy Lin, you want to create people as soon as you have the power of creation. Do you want to die? Senior Bear King. It was the Tyrant Bear King who rescued Lin Su. Seeing the annoyed expression of the Tyrant Bear King, Lin Su knew that he seemed to be in trouble. He opened his mouth in a somewhat embarrassed manner, but did not know what to say. Boy, you have just come into contact with the power of creation, and you want to create humans in such a whimsical way. If it weren't for Grandpa Xiang, who I still have some abilities, your kid would have been exploded to death by the backlash just now. What a nonsense, Bassian. King Xiang scolded Lin Su unceremoniously. I'm a little too excited, he. Lin Su scratched his head, and with a straight face, he bowed respectfully to the Tyrant Bear King and said seriously, "Thank you, Senior Bear King, for helping me." Boy, stay calm, don't be too reckless. Seeing Lin Su's ashamed look, the anger in Tyrant Bear King's heart also subsided a lot since he had placed his hope on Lin Su. He could not tolerate Lin Su ruining himself because of such a low-level mistake. Got it? Listen to me, Mr. Lin, the small world you have now is different from the small world in the general sense. This is the prototype of the real world. A world that truly belongs to you. It can be said that you are the only one in this world. It's easy for God to create all things with a wave of his hand when he reaches a certain level, but not now. Tyrant Bear King's expression was extremely serious. You have just owned a small world now, and you are still in the lowest state. The original power of the world, that is, the power of creation, is extremely limited. At most, you can only create some low-level flowers, plants, butterflies. There are basically no sane animals like insects, and there shouldn't be too many of them. Senior Bear King, when can I create humans or monsters? Even if Tyrant Bear King didn't say anything, Lin Su had already realized his current ability. Tyrant Bear King was right, he could create some low-level monsters. Plants and insects are okay, but even advanced life forms are beyond their capabilities. Create man. The Tyrant Bear King looked at Lin Su with an idiot look on his face. How dare you think? Among all the races in the world, the human race has the greatest potential and the strongest soul power. If you want to create a human being, what are you waiting for? Let's talk about it when we can reach the level of Master of Life. Huh? Isn't it? Lin Su was dumbfounded. Originally, he wanted to create a group of younger brothers who were absolutely loyal to him. Then he would open the door and let the younger ones out if he didn't like them. It would be done in a few seconds. But now it seems that he has really thought too much. If you can't create humans, what about creating monsters? Lin Su asked weakly. Then it depends on what level of monster it is. If it's the level of an ancient beast, don't even think about it. It must at least have the cultivation level of an immortal to create it. The Tyrant Bear King glanced at Lin Su sideways. Boy Lin, the most important thing is for you to calm down and improve your cultivation level now. With your current strength, it will be rubbish. Lin Su. The Tyrant Bear King went back to the bear den to sleep. Lin Su was silently depressed for a while. After accepting the warm comfort from Zizhou and the girls, he left the spiritual field space. The depression on his face disappeared in an instant and was replaced. There was a look of joy on his face. Rightward arrow. Although the plan to create a lot of monsters and human beings was completely in vain, Lin Su was not sad because the Tyrant Bear King said that as long as his cultivation level improved, he would one day be able to create monster-level monsters. Life. What's more, Lin Su's biggest gain from the evolution of the spiritual field space is not that the original power of the world brings the power of creation, but that the spiritual field space has truly become a world and has become Lin Su's biggest life-saving support. Lin Su can now escape into the spiritual field space at any time, and let the spiritual field space move in the outside world at the size of a dust particle. As long as the spatial coordinates are not locked by others, they will not be discovered. It can be regarded as a mobile safe fortress. Of course, it does not mean that Lin Su is invincible. There are also considerable hidden dangers. Once someone locks the spatial target, they can chase into the spiritual field space, and even the spiritual field space may be damaged. Of course, such a situation is 1 in a million. Unless there is a being with a cultivation level far higher than Lin Su, it is difficult to track the spatial coordinates when Lin Su escaped. However, it is always right to be cautious. Shua. Lin Su rushed out of the ghost crocodile's mouth and took a look at the ghost crocodile corpse that was as big as a mountain. Although Lin Su did not understand puppetry, he did not want to let go of the treasure like the ghost crocodile corpse that even immortals coveted. With a thought, the world power in the spiritual field space spread out, barely wrapping the ghost crocodile's body, and swish it into the spiritual field space. Fortunately, this time the spiritual field space has completely evolved into a small world, and the area has expanded by more than 100 times. Otherwise, once the ghost crocodile's body is stuffed in, there will be no extra space in the entire spiritual field space. The trouble is solved. It's time to absorb the dragon vein energy. The ghost crocodile's 1,000-foot body was taken into the spiritual field space. The huge gap left for a while has not been filled by the mud. Lin Su took this opportunity to prop up the protective air shield and rushed straight down into a stream of light. Half a day later. Puff. 1,000 feet deep from the ground, the corundum-like soil layer broke a big hole, and a figure drilled out of it. It was Lin Su. The deeper he went into the swamp, the greater the resistance. Later, the swamp had turned into an extremely hard soil layer. Even though Lin Su had the earth escape technique, it still took him half a day to dive 1,000 feet underground. Finally here. I never thought that there would be such a huge hollow space 1,000 feet underground. After breaking through the soil layer, a vast underground space appeared in front of Lin Su. In this vast space, the most eye-catching thing was the mountain range that looked like a giant dragon, stretching for thousands of miles and magnificent. This was the destination of Lin Su's trip, the Emperor-level ownerless dragon vein. What a strong dragon vein energy! The Emperor-level dragon vein is indeed extraordinary. I wonder how magnificent the even more powerful Saint-level dragon vein is. Wearing a dragon-patterned jade pendant, Lin Su could sense the endless dragon vein energy gushing into the dragon-patterned jade pendant, and then gathered towards his body, and this was when he did not deliberately activate the technique to absorb it. This speed is more than 10,000 times faster than when he was in Liuguang City. If this Emperor-level dragon vein was not buried thousands of feet underground, it would have been occupied by someone long ago, and Lin Su would not have been able to absorb it. Lin Su was sure that the disciples of Tianji sect had never gone deep into the ground when they discovered this Emperor-level ownerless dragon vein. The reason was very simple. With the ancient evil beast ghost crocodile blocking the way, who could sneak into the ground silently without alarming the ghost crocodile? Tianji sect is indeed the best in the world of cultivation in terms of feng shui. They can even discover such an Emperor-level ownerless dragon vein. If it were someone with weaker abilities, they would probably just treat it as a small dragon vein that is not worth mentioning, right? It's such a wise decision to ask Tianjiman for help. I admire myself a little bit. Shamelessly boasting, Lin Su naturally attributed the credit to himself, completely forgetting that the idea was originally proposed by Tu Lingzhu. If Tu Lingzhu was not sleeping soundly in the spiritual field space at this moment, he would definitely look down on Lin Su. This time, I must break through to the late nascent soul stage and transform into a dragon. Flying to the top of the dragon vein mountain representing the dragon head, Lin Su's eyes flashed with a determined light, and he sat down cross-legged, fully activating the Xiantian Hualongju to absorb the dragon vein energy absorbed by the dragon pattern jade pendant to temper his body. As Lin Su absorbed the energy, the speed at which the dragon pattern jade pendant absorbed the dragon vein energy also increased sharply. The thick dragon vein energy gathered along the dragon-shaped mountain range towards the dragon head. The whistling sound of the wind that would never appear in this underground space gradually sounding like a giant dragon chanting. As the dragon energy continued to flow into Lin Su's body, a dazzling golden green light emanated from his body, and Lin Su's figure naturally returned to the shape of a dragon in the light. The dragon body, which was hundreds of feet long, coiled on the dragon head peak of the dragon-shaped mountain range. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 263. After returning to the body of a dragon, the golden green light was completely restrained. As time went by, a little golden light gradually appeared on Lin Su's silver-white dragon tail, and slowly expanded to the surroundings. This is Lin Su's dragon body trying to transform into a real dragon body, but this transformation is extremely slow. However, for Lin Su now, the least lacking thing is time. There is no time in cultivating immortals. More than 100 years have passed. Since the ghost crocodile was killed by Lin Su, this huge swamp has slowly recovered its vitality, and various beasts have begun to appear in the swamp. On this day, all the creatures living in the swamp suddenly sensed an extremely dangerous breath. The vast power of heaven spread from the sky. A calamity cloud appeared in the sky without any sign. Unlike the ordinary black calamity cloud, the color of this calamity cloud was purple. The calamity cloud was not too big, only about 1 mile in radius. The beasts and even monsters living in this swamp that had not yet formed had fled in all directions. Birds and beasts within 10 miles of the purple calamity cloud were extinct. The purple calamity cloud formed very quickly, but no calamity thunder fell for a long time. It always covered the swamp, as if waiting for someone to appear. Ha ha ha, I finally broke through. After more than 100 years, I finally broke through to the late stage of the nascent soul. Suddenly, a huge crack exploded in the swamp, and a figure in green and white shirt rose from it, and a wild laugh sounded over the swamp. Boom! As soon as the young man in green and white shirt finished speaking, a deafening thunder sounded, and at the same time, a huge purple thunder rushed out from the purple calamity cloud and hit the young man in green and white shirt solidly. Ouch! The young man in green and white shirt screamed and fell into the swamp, but stopped abruptly before falling into the muddy ground of the swamp. Damn it, it's the dragon transforming thunder tribulation, how could I have forgotten about it? It was Lin Su who rushed out of the crack in the swamp and was struck by the purple thunder. After more than 100 years, Lin Su absorbed enough dragon vein energy and successfully transformed into a dragon and cultivated a real dragon body. He changed from a Spirit Eye Snow Dragon to a Spirit Eye Golden Dragon. His cultivation also crossed the barrier of the middle stage of the nascent soul with the breakthrough of his physical body and officially entered the late stage of the nascent soul. Moreover, because of the deep accumulation of more than 300 years before, he reached the state of great perfection of the late stage of the nascent soul as soon as he broke through. Trapped in the middle stage of the nascent soul for more than 300 years, it took more than 100 years to break through. Lin Su was quite arrogant in his great joy, but it was a pity that this arrogance lasted less than a breath before he was smashed to pieces by the huge thunder. When a dragon breaks through its own limit and transforms into a dragon, it will attract the dragon transforming thunder tribulation. This is a law. It also encountered it when the fire dragon evolved into a fire dragon. However, Lin Su was too proud to forget about it, and he was caught off guard and almost suffered a big loss. Strange, why is this calamity cloud purple? This was not the first time that Lin Su had gone through the calamity, nor was it the first time that he had seen the calamity cloud. However, the calamity clouds were usually black, and this was the first time that Lin Su had encountered the purple calamity cloud. Moreover, although Lin Su was caught off guard just now, the destructive power contained in the thunder was indeed surprisingly large. Otherwise, with Lin Su's current strength, he would definitely not have been hit and fell directly from mid-air, and there was a numbness and pain all over his body. The purple calamity cloud did not give Lin Su too much time to be surprised. In just a few breaths, the second calamity thunder had already blasted down towards Lin Su with the force of thunder. Rightward arrow. Break it for me. Facing the calamity thunder that contained the power of heaven and earth, Lin Su was not afraid at all, and punched the purple calamity thunder directly. Boom! There was another loud explosion, and the calamity thunder was blasted into pieces by Lin Su, turning into a thread of lightning and drilling into his body, but Lin Su's figure was also blasted down several feet. Something is wrong. There is something strange about this thunderbolt. Using the Xianxia Hualongju to absorb the purple thunderbolt that invaded his body, Lin Su's eyes flashed with shock, and his face became solemn. Lin Su had seen the fire dragon cross the dragon thunderbolt, and he knew very well the power of the thunderbolt when the fire dragon crossed the thunderbolt at that time, which was completely different from the purple thunderbolt he was facing now. Boom! The third purple thunderbolt came down, and there was no time to think too much. Lin Su used the dragon essence and punched it again. With a loud bang, his figure was blown down several feet again. Before he could catch his breath, the remaining 6 thunderbolts actually came down one after another. Damn! Thief god, are you kidding me? He cursed in grief and anger, and 6 purple thunderbolts hit Lin Su one after another. This time, Lin Su could no longer maintain his body shape. With a scream, he fell headfirst into the mud in the swamp from mid-air, blasting a big hole and splashing muddy water up to dozens of feet high. After 6 thunderbolts were blasted out in succession, the purple thunderbolt clouds in the sky quickly dissipated and disappeared in the blink of an eye, leaving only the huge pit in the swamp. Cough. Cough cough. After a while, the pit that was blasted open was filled with mud again, and a person with a charred body like black charcoal floated out of the mud and rose to the air. It was Lin Su who was blasted into the mud by the thunderbolt. Damn it! What's wrong with this thunderbolt? Why is it so powerful? It almost split me apart. Lin Su looked quite miserable at the moment, with his hair standing on end, his whole body was burnt black, and drops of fishy mud were constantly dripping from his body. Cleaning technique. Landing on a solid ground not far away, Lin Su used the cleaning technique to wash away the mud on his body. Looking at the scorched black skin all over his body, feeling the injuries in his body, he felt like crying without tears. After 100 years of seclusion, he finally broke through. Unexpectedly, he was struck by a calamity thunder as soon as he came out. Let alone being struck, the key point is that the destructive power of this calamity thunder was astonishing. It almost didn't kill him, if he possesses the immortal Lotus Heart Seal and has amazing recovery ability. Lin Su may still be in the quagmire, unable to move at this moment. If that were the case, maybe he would become the first late nascent soul monk in the history of the world of immortality to be suffocated to death in the mud after a tribulation. The purple lightning that invaded the body has been resolved and absorbed by Lin Su. Lin Su can clearly feel that his physical strength is much stronger than before the tribulation, but the injury is not light, even with the protection of the immortal Lotus Heart Seal. If the body's right is to activate the immortal Lotus Heart technique, it will probably take half an hour to recover. In other words, I have to maintain this black coal-like appearance for half an hour. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 264. The clothes and pants he was wearing had long been chopped into ashes by the thunder. Lin Su could only take out a white shirt and put it on again, but at this moment, it looked really funny with his black charcoal appearance. Lin Su was already operating the immortal Lotus Heart Ju at full capacity to recover from his injuries, but it would take some time to fully recover. With a thought, Lin Su quietly disappeared and entered the spirit field space. His current state: you cannot use force. It would be bad if you encounter an enemy. It is safer to enter the spirit field space. Who is it? As soon as they entered the Lingtian space, Xianxia and others were alarmed. They all looked at Lin Su as if facing a formidable enemy. The Lingtian space was so secretive. How did this black man get in? Wait a minute, this aura seems to be Xiaolinzi. Seeing that the person who came was not hostile at all, and looked at the eyes of the others with helplessness, Xianxia vaguely felt that something was wrong, as if there was a trace of familiarity about the person who came. The feeling, and then looking at the earth spirit pig laughing secretly on the stone bench beside him, an absurd idea suddenly flashed through Xiao's mind, and he exhaled softly. Husband, Yepinger and Leng Lingyu opened their eyes wide, covering their mouths and shouting softly. Yes, it's me. Lin Su felt helpless at the moment, extremely depressed, and his image in the hearts of the 3 wives was completely ruined. Brother, have you just emerged from the coal mine? This look is so different and creative. The unscrupulous Tulingzi looked amazed on his face. Get out! The corner of Lin Su's mouth twitched, and his face suddenly turned dark. No, it should be said that it was originally very dark, but now it was really dark. Kicked the earth spirit pig away with one kick. Seeing this guy easily getting up in the distance and continuing to laugh, Lin Su was so angry that he would have known that he would have been in seclusion for 300 years. This stinking pig should be tied up and should not be allowed to play in the world. This is a good time. He has not learned anything else, but he has learned a lot about being evil. Husband, why did you become like this? Are you injured? When he kicked the earth spirit pig away, he used too much force, and was so angry that this guy was so angry that it affected the injuries in his body. Lin Su couldn't help but groaned. A trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and the girls were suddenly shocked. Your whole body is scorched black, and the destructive aura of thunder still remains on your body. Boy Lin, were you struck like this by the thunder? Right. The tyrant bear king came to Lin Su's side at some point, and after sensing it, he frowned slightly. Road. It's the dragon transformation thunder tribulation, Lin Su said very depressedly. I don't know what's going on, but the power of this thunder tribulation is amazing. I might as well be injured for a moment. This was not Lin Su's first time to experience a thunder tribulation. He had never experienced such a powerful force as the previous Xiun thunder tribulation. By the time he reacted, it was already too late to summon the 5 elements spirit sword for defense. What color is the thunder tribulation? Tyrant Bear King asked after pondering for a moment. Purple. I also find it strange. Generally, thunder tribulations are black. This is the first time I have seen this purple thunder tribulation, Lin Su said with a bitter face. Purple? It's the purple cloud thunder tribulation. A flash of light flashed in the Tyrant Bear King's eyes, with a look of shock on his face. Xiun thunder tribulation? How is it different from ordinary thunder tribulations? Not only Lin Su, but also Zizhou and the other girls had never heard of it and were quite curious. General thunder tribulations are black cloud thunder tribulations. Purple cloud thunder tribulations only appear when evildoers with incredible talents go through tribulations. There is another kind of thunder tribulation on top of the purple cloud thunder tribulation. The color of the tribulation clouds is red. Called Hongyuntian jealousy, it is a thunder calamity that only a peerless evildoer who is jealous of even God will encounter. The Tyrant Bear King looked at Lin Su and said slowly, Hongyuntian jealousy only exists in legends. I have never seen Grandpa Xiang, but it is said that no one who encounters him can survive. The Xiun thunder tribulation is also extremely rare. The probability of being able to successfully survive it is slim. It's already amazing that you, the kid, were unprepared to encounter the Xiun thunder tribulation and still survived it. It's so scary, the girls exclaimed, and their gazes on Lin Su suddenly changed from puzzled and distressed to happy. Husband, you are so lucky. Lin Su was about to cry but had no tears. Can his charcoal-haired appearance be considered lucky? Okay, kid, don't look like you've suffered a big loss. Hurry up and refine the power of thunder in your body. Not everyone can encounter the Xiun thunder tribulation. The training effect on the physical body is far greater. Extraordinary thunder disaster. Seeing Lin Su's depressed look, the Tyrant Bear King laughed, and after giving a reminder, he turned and walked towards his bear den. Yes, that's right, Senior Xiang King is right, Xiao Linzi, hurry up and heal your injuries. Zizhou and the other girls suppressed the smiles in their hearts, and urged Lin Su to quickly heal his wounds and absorb the power of thunder, but one by one the slight twitching of the corner of his mouth to suppress a smile made Lin Su see black lines popping out. Smile your ass off, come here and help me. Lin Su walked up to the Tuliang pig with a sullen face and hit him hard on the head angrily. Brother, what help do you need from me to heal your injuries? Tulingzi covered his head with a sad face. You will help me when I ask you to do it. Why is there so much nonsense? Lin Su glared. Hurry up and set up the 5 elements illusion array to help isolate me from outside inspections. To use energy to recover from injuries and absorb the power of thunder, naturally it would be better to revert to the golden dragon body. But when Lin Su looked at his current appearance, he estimated that reverting to the dragon body would not be much better. The human form has been ridiculed, and the dragon form has been ridiculed. But I can't be laughed at anymore. Lin Su could also set up the 5 elements illusion array by himself, but he was seriously injured now and it was not suitable for him to call up his true essence. Moreover, there was the free labor of the earth spirit pig. It would be a waste if he didn't use it. Who made this guy laugh so happily just now? The arm was no match for the thigh. The earth spirit pig finally succumbed to Lin Su's power and set up the 5 elements illusion array with a sad face. Don't peek. Otherwise, you know the consequences, Lin Su threatened the earth spirit pig fiercely before stepping into the 5 elements illusion array. Lin Su knew this guy's temper too well. If he didn't explain it, it would definitely peek, and maybe even record the scene. When it was displayed in front of Zizuir and the other girls, its reputation would be completely ruined. Oh, I know, the earth spirit pig replied dejectedly. It did have the intention of peeking and recording, but now that it had been exposed by Lin Su, it would not be a good risk. After entering the illusion array, Lin Su released his spiritual sense to investigate and confirmed that the earth spirit pig did not peek. Only then did he feel relieved and returned to his true form as a golden dragon. Of course, his body size remained at several feet, otherwise the 5 elements illusion would not be able to cover it up. Just as Lin Su expected, his true form of a golden dragon now looked quite miserable. The golden dragon scales had all turned into a charred mass, and cracks were all over the dragon body. From time to time, purple arcs could be seen flashing, which looked even worse than the human form. This damn purple cloud thunder tribulation. After secretly cursing a few words, Lin Su coiled up the dragon body and used a body refining technique from the immortal Lotus Heart art and Xianxia dragon art, Dragon God Body Refining. Dragon God Body Refining is a powerful body refining technique in Suanation Hualongju, but only the true dragon clan can practice it. It is a body refining magic technique that appeared from Suanation Hualongju after Lin Su's breakthrough this time. If you practice it to the 9th level, you can become an immortal in the flesh, which is extremely powerful. Lin Su doesn't know the true power of becoming an immortal in the flesh, but you can speculate from the literal meaning. Think about it, the flesh alone is enough to rival the immortals, so wouldn't it be even more powerful if the power of the immortal essence is added? However, there is one bad thing, that is, if you want to practice Dragon God Body Refining to the 9th level, you must ensure that your cultivation has not broken through to the immortal level first. If you have broken through to the immortal level before your flesh becomes an immortal, then Dragon God Body Refining will never have the opportunity to break through to the 9th level. In other words, Lin Su must first use the absorbed spiritual energy to cultivate Dragon God Body Refining to temper his body, which will undoubtedly greatly slow down his cultivation speed. However, when he thought of the feeling of being invincible at the same level when his body and soul achieved the immortal level at the same time, Lin Su couldn't help but get excited. He gritted his teeth and decided to cultivate Dragon God Body Refining to the 9th level no matter what. The power of the Thunder Tribulation is the best energy for cultivators to train their bodies and improve their cultivation. However, Lin Su's current cultivation has reached the late stage of the nascent soul. He can't improve it even if he wants to. Unless he goes to the spirit world and absorbs enough soul energy, it is possible to further break through to the God transformation stage. Therefore, all the energy of the purple cloud thunder tribulation is used by Lin Su to cultivate Dragon God Body Refining to temper his body. Under the effect of the Dragon God Body Refining technique, the purple cloud tribulation thunder that raged in Lin Su's body was refined and absorbed by Lin Su bit by bit, like pulling out silk from a cocoon. Without the destruction of the purple cloud tribulation thunder, the immortal Lotus Heart Seal finally played its full role. Lin Su's damaged meridians, flesh and blood quickly recovered and regenerated, and the skin and dragon scales on the body surface that had turned into charcoal fell off one after another, and new skin and dragon scales grew again. 3 days later, Lin Su's injuries were completely healed, and the black and miserable appearance finally disappeared completely, and he restored his heroic and domineering golden dragon body. However, Lin Su did not stop practicing, because the purple cloud tribulation thunder was not completely absorbed. Tyrant Bear King was right. The purple cloud tribulation thunder had a very strong effect on the body. This extremely strong and yang thunder power allowed Lin Su to directly upgrade Dragon God body refining to the 4th level in one breath, and the thunder power was only consumed by 60%. The 4th level of Dragon God body refining has elevated Lin Su's physical body to a rather terrifying level. Now even if Lin Su does not use any dragon essence to protect his body and just stands there to let Len Wuking attack him, Len Wuking may not be able to break through his defense. In other words, Lin Su can now suppress the demon lord Len Wuking, who is also in the late nascent soul stage, with just his physical strength. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 265. If you practice Dragon God body refining to the 4th level of the physical body, you can overpower the Yuanying stage cultivators. What about the 5th level? Wouldn't it at least be able to fight against the strong men of the Shenhua stage? There is still 40% of the power of the purple cloud tribulation thunder left. I wonder if I can rush to the 5th level of the physical body in one go? Lin Su is looking forward to it, so he plans to continue to refine and absorb the remaining 40% of the power of the purple cloud tribulation thunder before coming out of retreat, but Lin Su didn't expect that this would take a full 10 years. That's right, it only took 3 days to absorb 60% of the power of the purple cloud tribulation thunder, but it took a full 10 years to absorb the remaining 40%. Perhaps it was because Lin Su's original cultivation had reached the late Yuanying stage of perfection, and the first 60% of the power of the purple cloud tribulation thunder was absorbed very smoothly, and Dragon God body refining soared all the way to the 4th level of the physical body. But the next thing was completely different. The time spent on absorbing each bit of the purple cloud tribulation thunder power increased exponentially. It took a full 10 years to completely refine and absorb the remaining 40% of the tribulation thunder power. However, Dragon God body refining did not reach the 5th level of the physical body as expected, but only reached the peak of the 4th level of the physical body, which was just a little bit away from the 5th level of the physical body. Lin Su was quite regretful about this, but he also knew that although it was only a little bit away, the energy required was definitely a terrifying number. He couldn't eat hot tofu in a hurry, so he had to take it slowly. After removing the 5 elements illusion formation, Lin Su raised his head and let out a dragon roar. He turned around in the air in a very showy way, expecting to be praised by Xianxia and the other girls. Who knew that the girls just glanced at him lightly and continued to practice with their eyes closed. Not to mention praise, they looked completely indifferent, which made Lin Su feel like cold water was pouring on his head, and he lost all interest. Zuir, Pinger, my husband, I'm out of retreat. Lin Su turned into a human form and came to the girls. A neutral response. Besides Oh, I see. Lin Su was going crazy. What was going on? What was the attitude of the girls? He had been in seclusion for 10 years. No matter what, this attitude shouldn't be there. Puff. Just when Lin Su couldn't hold it back and was about to burst out, a sweet laugh rang out. Pinger covered her mouth and laughed so hard that her waist almost bent. Sorry, I really can't help it. Husband, don't be angry. It was Sister Zuir who asked us to pretend that nothing happened. I was just joking with you. Joking? Lin Su's mouth opened into a circle. Looking at the 3 girls of Xianxia who couldn't hold back their laughter anymore, the black lines on his forehead kept coming out. It felt like the 3 girls were teasing him after all this time. I've been healing for so long, Aren't you worried? Lin Su felt very hurt. He had been healing in the Five Elements illusion formation for 10 years. How could the girls not be worried? I'm still in the mood to joke with him. Worry? Why should I worry? My husband, haven't you recovered a long time ago? You've been in seclusion for so long just to absorb the power of the thunder and temper your body. Xiao Tu told us a long time ago, Zhuir asked curiously. Xiao Tu. A voice that was obviously suppressed with anger rang in the ears of Tu Lingzhu. Tu Lingzhu, who had been laughing secretly, saw Lin Su's eyes that were about to burst into flames, and suddenly felt a chill in his heart. He whispered in a low voice, that, big brother, it was my sister-in-law who insisted that I tell her. I can't let them worry all the time, right? Hee hee. Alas, I made a bad friend. How could I find such an unreliable guy as my younger brother? Lin Su felt speechless. His cultivation has broken through to the late nascent soul stage, and dragon god body refining has also reached the fourth peak of the physical body. It can be said that Lin Su has no room for improvement in the human world. It has been more than 450 years since he returned to the Xianxian world. The shortest time is less than 50 years before the next time the heavenly spirit realm descends to the human world. It is almost time to set off for the Chaos Star Sea. Lin Su once asked the Xiang Patriarch about the heavenly spirit realm descending to the human world, and found that he didn't know about it at all. Even no one in the entire Xianxian world knew about the heavenly spirit realm. According to Lin Su's estimation, it should be because the heavenly spirit realm only appears in the Chaos Star Sea every time it descends. Lin Su didn't know if he could sense the next time the heavenly spirit realm descended if he stayed in the Xianxian world. After all, although the Xianxian world and the Chaos Star Sea belong to the human world, there is still an extremely vast desolate space between them. Who knows whether the fluctuations of the heavenly spirit realms descending can be transmitted to the Xianxian world? Lin Su doesn't want to take this risk. Therefore, Lin Su decided to set off immediately to return to the Sword God section. After arranging things, he would pick up his father-in-law, Xianxia Patriarch, and go to the Chaos Star Sea through the ultra-long-distance teleportation array. After returning to the Sword God sect and telling Xianxia Patriarch nodded and agreed without saying a word. After more than 400 years, Xianxia Patriarch's cultivation has further reached the peak of the late nascent soul stage. It is impossible to make any progress in the human world. Moreover, unlike Lin Su, Xianxia Patriarch's lifespan is not much, only less than 300 years left. If he cannot break through to the spiritualization stage, then he can only return to dust and return to earth. Therefore, Xianxia Patriarch is much more active than Lin Su in going to the Chaos Star Sea. War is the best way to stimulate potential. Although the 100 years of fierce fighting with the demon sect cost the 5 major immortal sects a heavy price and killed many high-end cultivators, those who survived were those with outstanding talents and great fortune. After 400 years of recuperation, new nascent soul cultivators were born in the 5 major immortal sects. Among them, the Sword God sect had 2 elders who broke through to the early stage of the nascent soul with the help of the nascent soul pill refined by Lin Su. The other 4 major sects also had 1 person each. With new nascent soul cultivators in charge of the sect, Xianxia Patriarch was not worried that the Sword God sect would be broken after he and others left. Before leaving, Xianxia Patriarch called the 2 newly promoted nascent soul grand elders to the Xianxia cave heaven and informed them of the ultra-long-distance teleportation array and the channels to the heavenly spirit realm and the spirit realm. Similar to the oral message left by Yewuji and King Yanluo to the Spirit Beast Island and the Yama Palace, Xianxia Patriarch listened to Lin Su's advice and stipulated that any disciples of the Sword God sect who could reach the late stage of the nascent soul could go to the Chaos Star Sea through the ultra-long-distance teleportation channel and go to the spirit realm through the heavenly spirit realm. The space pulling force in the spiritual world channel is extremely strong. If the cultivation level is not at the late stage of the nascent soul, it is difficult to resist it. Going there would be a waste of life. Therefore, the two early stage nascent soul supreme elders had no objection to the arrangement made by Xianxia Patriarch. After everything was arranged, Lin Su took Xianxia Patriarch into the spiritual field space and flew towards the location of the ultra-long-distance teleportation array. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 266. Among the underwater ruins of the Demon Sea in the Chaos Star Sea, the ultra-long-distance teleportation array suddenly emitted a bright light, forming a door of light. A figure walked out of it, and it was Lin Su. After all, this is the demonic sea area. Lin Su did not rush to release Patriarch Xiang and others. He turned into a golden dragon and soared into the sky. After rushing out of the sea, he flew towards the direction of Spirit Beast Island like lightning. Going forward, the mighty dragons might spread wantonly along the way without any cover-up. The monsters along the way were all trembling with fear under the overwhelming dragon's might and did not dare to show their strength. Ouch! Of course, there are exceptions. When passing by a sea area, a thundering dragon roar suddenly sounded, and a huge fire dragon rushed out of the sea and blocked Lin Su's way. It was Lin Su's old acquaintance, the fire dragon named Huo Yan. Huo Yan, may I ask where your friend is going? Huo Yan has been in Chaos Xingai for hundreds of years. Except for Lin Su, a fellow sect member he met more than 400 years ago, he has never met any other dragon clan. Now, suddenly, a person whose cultivation is different from his appears. The golden dragons above and below were naturally very excited, and couldn't help but get out and want to make friends, but he didn't recognize that the five-clawed golden dragon in front of him was Lin Su, the spiritual ice snow dragon back then. Old Huo, I'm Lin Su, why can't you recognize me? Lin Su laughed, and his figure enlarged to the same size as Huo Yan. Lin Su? Are you Mr. Lin? You have turned into a dragon. Huo Yan's eyes suddenly widened. The five-clawed golden dragon in front of him turned out to be the original spiritual-eyed snow dragon? How many years has passed and he has turned into a dragon? What surprised Huo Yan even more was that Lin Su not only transformed into a dragon, but also evolved into a royal member of the dragon clan, a five-clawed golden dragon. This is really an incredible thing. Generally speaking, snakes that transform into dragons and dragons that transform into dragons will not change their attributes. For example, Huo Yan himself evolved from a fire dragon into a fire dragon. Although his bloodline has improved, the essence of his bloodline has not changed. Logically speaking, Lin Su as a spiritual-eyed snow python, it should have evolved into a spiritual-eyed silver dragon, but now it has become a five-clawed golden dragon. Huo Yan really can't figure it out. He can only say that the dragon is better than the dragon, and the dragon is so angry. Lin Su was naturally a little proud of Huo Yan's shock. The most important reason why he was able to evolve into a five-clawed golden dragon instead of a spiritual-eyed silver dragon was the Xianxia dragon transformation technique, a heaven-defying skill. To the extreme, he can transform into the legendary nine-clawed dragon god. Of course, Lin Su would not explain the reason to Huo Yan. After exchanging a few words with Huo Yan, Lin Su was about to leave but stopped and looked at Huo Yan again. He asked a little abruptly, "What do you want, going to the spirit world?" "What?" Huo Yan thought he heard wrongly. "I mean, do you want to go to the spirit world?" Lin Su repeated. The longevity of the dragon clan is much longer than that of ordinary monks, but Huo Yan has been stuck in the middle stage of Yuanying for too long. Although he successfully broke through to Yuanying in the later period, he transformed into a dragon, but now his lifespan is less than 500 years. In the human world, there is no soul energy and spiritual power. No matter how talented you are or how strong your bloodline is, you will not be able to break through. Transformation period. Lin Su knew very well that once he arrived in the spirit world, his status would plummet. Any master might beat him to pieces. In this case, if he wanted to gain a foothold in the spirit world, he must build his own team. The fire dragon Huo Yan in front of me is a good candidate. Do you know how to go to the spirit world? Huo Yan's eyes suddenly lit up. The longer he lived, the more afraid he was of death. This was an absolute truth for both immortal cultivators and monsters. It was hard for Huo Yan to survive until now. If you become a dragon, you naturally don't want to turn into a handful of loess after hundreds of years. Not only do I know, I am absolutely sure that I can go to the spirit world. Lin Su smiled lightly, with confidence in his eyes. Tell me, what are the conditions? Huo Yan's eyes flashed with unconcealable excitement, and after a long silence, he said in a deep voice. It's easy to deal with smart people. Lin Su's eyes flashed with admiration, and he said directly without beating around the bush, it's very simple. If I create a force after arriving in the spirit world, you will join me unconditionally. Unless the casual cultivators are strong enough to a certain extent, they will definitely not be able to compete with the disciples of the section in the human world. No one has been able to reach the spiritual world for thousands of years. Whether it is Spirit Beast Island or the 5 major immortal sects, they have probably lost their relationship with the sects in the spiritual world. Contact, even if Lin Su goes there now, he will still be at the bottom. In a sect, if monks at the bottom want to get along well, they must either rely on others or have a great background. Lin Su has no background in the spiritual world, and he is not the kind of villain who tends to follow others. It is conceivable that if he joins the spiritual world his sect will definitely not do well. If he encounters a few narrow-minded senior brothers or an unreliable master, he may make the same mistakes as he did in the Sword God sect. After thinking about it, Lin Su decided that it would be safer to build his own power and develop it slowly. Although Lin Su didn't spend much time with Huo Yan, he still had some understanding of this old fire dragon's temperament. He was not a person who wanted to be inferior to others, but once he agreed to something, he would definitely not go back on it. It is the pride that belongs to the dragon clan. Sure enough, a look of surprise appeared in the fire dragon's eyes. You want to create a force. The dragon clan has always been accustomed to living alone, and Huo Yan is like this. Creating a force has always been a habit of human monks. Huo Yan did not expect that Lin Su had such a plan. Yes, I will create my own power. You should also know, Lao Huo, that I have been living among human monks in human form for many years. Besides, monsters don't necessarily have to live alone. How about it, are they the same? I agree to give you a happy word. From Huo Yan's perspective, it was unbelievable that Lin Su, a dragon clan, wanted to create a force like a human monk. However, since his family knew about his family affairs, Lin Su essentially regarded himself as a member of the human race, so it was naturally impossible for him to really do so. Like monsters, they hide in famous mountains and rivers to practice alone. What do I need to do to join your force? Huo Yan didn't agree immediately, but he didn't refuse either. This was not a trivial matter, and he had to ask clearly first. You only need to do one thing, help each other and protect the brothers and sisters in the power, Lin Su said word by word. Nothing else. No. Okay, I agree. Huo Yan agreed without hesitation, thinking how much it would cost, but it turned out that the only thing he could do was keep watch and help each other, so of course there was no problem. Don't you think about it anymore, Huo Yan answered so decisively, which was somewhat beyond Lin Su's expectation. There's nothing to think about. I don't want to die in the human world like this, Huo Yan nodded affirmatively. He could go to the spirit world to continue improving his cultivation without selling his dignity. What's there to think about? Very good. One more thing, Lao Huo, it's not convenient for you to be like this now. It's better to turn into a human form. I'll give you this shape-shifting pill. Just wait for me here. I'll be there when I finish my work. I came to find you and go to the spiritual world with you. Lin Su looked at Huo Yan's huge mountain-like body and frowned slightly. If Huo Yan didn't turn into a human form, he would have looked a bit more shocking. Fortunately, Lin Su had been idle for hundreds of years cultivating materials. I have refined some transformation pills and just give Huo Yan one pill. When will you come to me? Whenever the heavenly spirit world comes to the human world again, I will come to you. It should be within 100 years. Huo Yan re-entered the sea, and Lin Su also shrunk his body a bit and continued to fly forward. After passing through the barrier of the Demon Sea, he returned to his human form and brought Xiang Patriarch, Zizuer, and others from the spirit field space. Was released. Is this the Chaos Star Sea? It's so rich in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Zhang Yunfan looked around curiously and exclaimed with admiration. Compared with the immortal cultivation world, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in Luanzingai is indeed much richer. It is basically equivalent to the concentration of spiritual energy of heaven and earth in some low-level cave heaven-blessed lands. I heard from Su'er that the number of masters in the nascent soul stage in this chaotic star sea far exceeds that in the world of cultivators. I didn't believe it at first, but now it seems to be true. The concentration of spiritual energy in the world in ordinary places can reach this level, let alone in the paradise of cave. Ancestor Xiang also nodded frequently. Husband, should we go to Spirit Beast Island first? After not returning for more than 450 years, Ye Ping'er still misses Spirit Beast Island a lot. After all, it was the homeland where she grew up. Although Ye Wuji has gone to the spirit world, there are still many Ye Ping'er on Spirit Beast Island. Ping'er's friend has now returned to Chaotic Star Sea, and of course she wants to go back and have a look. Of course, let's go to Spirit Beast Island first, and then go to Yama City to see it. Lin Su smiled, took out a flying boat and stood on it. He was not in a hurry anyway. It would be a good choice to fly slowly in the flying boat to let Zizuer, Zhang Yunfan, and others appreciate the scenery of the Sea of Stars. 3 days later. The Spirit Beast Island is just ahead. I wonder how Uncle Tianxiang and the others are doing. The flying boat entered the territory of Spirit Beast Island. Ye Ping'er looked at the Spirit Beast Island appearing on the horizon and murmured. What, Ping'er, are you timid about being close to home? Lin Su joked, but suddenly he frowned and his face changed suddenly. Something's wrong, the island protection formation has been activated. Ye Ping'er's face also turned pale. The island protection formation on Spirit Beast Island was never easily activated unless it was a life and death moment. Moreover, she could feel that the island protection formation had not only been activated, but had also been damaged. Something must have happened on Spirit Beast Island. Seeing Ye Ping'er's pale face, Lin Su felt very distressed. There was a hint of danger in his eyes, and 3 words popped into his mind: Xianxia Palace. Spirit Beast Island is one of the 3 major forces in the Chaos Star Sea. The only one that can pose a threat to it is the Xianxia Palace. When Lin Su left, he made an alliance between Yama Palace and Spirit Beast Island. This can basically be ruled out. Only Xianxia Palace is left. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 267. Stop those who come. This is the branch hall of Xianxia Palace. Anyone who is not involved should retreat as quickly as possible. Lin Su urged the flying boat to speed up and fly towards Spirit Beast Island, but was stopped by a group of guards looking for the island. The unique logo of Xianxia Palace was embroidered on the corners of their clothes. It was obvious that they were all monks of Xianxia Palace, and the leader's cultivation was in the early stage of elixir formation. A branch of Xianxia Palace? When did Spirit Beast Island become a branch of Xianxia Palace? Lin Su reached out to stop Yepinger, who was about to explode, and sneered. Spirit Beast Island? It has become history long ago. Now the chaotic Star Sea belongs to our Xianxia palace. Lin Su and his party did not reveal their own cultivation. With the strength of the team leader, it was impossible to tell the cultivation of Lin Su and others. Therefore, although his words were arrogant, he did not act recklessly. You must leave quickly, otherwise if the lord of the palace blames you, you won't be able to leave even if you want to. Deputy Hall Master? You mean Su Kinkan? He is on the island. Do you know our Deputy Palace Master? In the opinion of this team leader, the person who dared to call the Deputy Master of Su Kinkan by his name was definitely not an ordinary person, and his attitude became much more respectful without realizing it. I know him. I know him so well. I know him even if he turns into ashes. Lin Su smiled coldly, but what he said made the squad leader's pupils shrink. Who are you? To you mourners. A gust of dark wind blew, and the team leader was horrified. He wanted to say something but found that he couldn't say a word. A huge coercion and murderous intent surged out of Lin Su's body, and in an instant, their entire team was enveloped. It was extremely difficult for him to even blink his eyes, let alone speak. Ba! 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 Continuous explosions sounded, and in the horrified eyes of the team leader, the surrounding Xianxia temple monks exploded into blood mist all over the sky one by one. However, in just one breath, he was the only one left in the entire patrol team. The coercion and murderous intent dissipated, but the team leader still felt a bone-deep chill shrouding his whole body. Evil, devil. You are a devil. Demon? Compared to your Xianxia palace, I think I am kind enough. Lin Su's voice was still extremely cold, at least to the ears of the team leader. I'll give you half a cup of tea and tell me everything you know about Spirit Beast Island. If I think there's any truth in it, I will extract your soul, and then send you to be with your companions. Devil, this guy is definitely a devil. The team leader looked at Lin Su with a horrified look on his face, with only these words ringing repeatedly in his mind. Did you hear that clearly? Lin Su shouted impatiently, looking at the squad leader's frightened and stunned expression. Yes. Yes. I said, say. The squad leader had long been frightened out of his wits by Lin Su, and with a trembling voice, he told everything he knew as if he were pouring beans out of a bamboo tube. Listening to the squad leader's narration, Lin Su's eyes became brighter and brighter, while Yepinger's complexion became much better. Lin Su's guess was good. Spiritual Beast Island was indeed under a full-scale attack by Su Tian Palace. Just 300 years after Lin Su left, the influence he left gradually faded, and his existence was gradually forgotten. Su Kangqiang, after launching several tentative conflicts and not seeing Lin Su appear, one thing was certain, that is, Lin Su had completely left, just like Yewuji and the Emperor of Yama, and would not come back again. Without masters like Yewuji and Lin Su sitting in charge, yet Tianxiang alone is no match for Su Tianxiang. In addition, Spirit Beast Island is not as secretive as Yama Palace, and soon after Su Tian Palace's all-out attack, they were defeated and couldn't stop even the formation that protected the island. Fortunately, the Yama Palace came to help in time. Although the Spirit Beast Island suffered a lot of losses, the core strength was saved, and they all broke through and moved to Yama City. After the defeat of Spirit Beast Island, Yama Palace was also suppressed by Su Tian Palace. However, because Yama Palace has always walked in the darkness and its whereabouts are secretive, especially Yama City is in the unknown seabed, it has not been destroyed by Su Tian Palace yet. Tiandian discovered that underground branches in several cities were discovered and destroyed. Now the Chaos Star Sea has completely become the world of Xianxia Palace. The Spirit Beast Island has been destroyed and Yama Palace has been hidden. Other small and medium-sized forces are even less likely to be opponents of Xianxia Palace. Those who are unwilling to rely on have all been exterminated. Xianxia became the true uncrowned king. The uncrowned king? Is that the old dog of the sky worthy? Lin Su sneered and looked at the spirit beast island behind the team leader, where a familiar and powerful aura was rising, turning into a stream of light and shooting towards it. It was Xianxia. Who dares to go to my Xianxian palace and act wild? Are they tired of living? Xianxia flew closer, feeling the faint bloody aura. A ferocious look flashed across his face, and roared at Lin Su, who turned his back. But the next moment, a familiar voice that made his soul tremble sounded, "Xianxia, long time no see. Are you here to save your men?" More than 450 years have passed, and Xianxia's cultivation has also reached the late nascent soul stage, second only to Xianxia. Now in the Chaos Star Sea, he is completely inferior to one person and above 10,000 people. After breaking through the Spirit Beast Island, he has been sitting there. At this point, Xianxia also felt Lin Su's aura that was instantly released and oppressive. He was shocked and ran out to check, but he saw a face that was like a nightmare to him, a face that the face I thought would never appear again. Lin Su. Why are you back again? Xianxia secretly groaned in his heart. He thought it was some blind guy who came to cause trouble. He planned to stretch his muscles and kill a chicken to scare the monkeys. Unexpectedly, he kicked the iron plate. The one who came to cause trouble was Lin Su, the evil star. Deputy Hall Master, save me. Deputy Hall Master, save me. Kill him, kill this devil. The captain looked at Xianxia with shining eyes, and hope appeared on his face again. In his opinion, the most powerful person in the entire Chaos Star Sea besides Hall Master Xianxia is Deputy Hall Master Xianxia. Although Lin Su is powerful, he is definitely not Xianxia's opponent. Shut up, Xianxia shouted angrily. Kill Lin Su? What a joke, is this evil star so easy to kill? Xianxia is very self-aware. Although he has now broken through to the late nascent soul stage, it is obvious that Lin Su's cultivation is still above him. This guy was able to defeat the late nascent soul Hall Master Xianxia when he was still in the middle nascent soul stage more than 400 years ago, let alone now. It's hard to say whether I can save my life and leave today. Elder Lin, this is all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Lin Su's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Your Xianxian palace attacked my Spirit Beast Island is a misunderstanding? Killing my Spirit Beast Island disciples is also a misunderstanding? Occupying the mountain gate of my Spirit Beast Island and turning it into a branch of Xianxian palace is also a misunderstanding? Xianxia, do you think you are very smart, or do you think I am stupid? Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 268. This. Every time he asked a question, Lin Su's aura increased by 1 point, and the evil energy all over his body also poured out of his body. After a few questions, Lin Su's aura had increased to the extreme, and the ferocious evil energy armor was also on his body. After the condensation came out, Xianxia felt like a small boat in a violent storm, which could be destroyed at any time. He was so frightened that he couldn't even speak. Damn it! This evil star is much stronger than before. I am no match for him. I have to find a way to escape as soon as possible. The shadow that Lin Su left on Xianxia's heart back then was so profound that Xianxia couldn't afford to fight with him at all. At this moment, he was only thinking about how to save his life and escape. As for dealing with Lin Su, it was better to leave it to the Palace Master. Lord Palace Master. Xianxia suddenly looked behind Lin Su and others with excitement and exclaimed, causing Lin Su and others to look back, but there was no trace of Xianxia anywhere. No, this grandson is cheating. After reacting, Lin Su suddenly turned around and made defensive movements, only to find that Xianxia did not attack, but took the opportunity to escape, and in the blink of an eye he had entered the interior of Spirit Beast Island. The enemy is attacking. Everyone prepares for battle. Stop them and kill them. Su Qianqian knew very well that such a small amount of time was not enough for him to escape. Lin Su was much faster than him, so he directly mobilized all Xianxia temple disciples stationed on Spirit Beast Island to intercept Lin Su and the others. In his eyes, although these people are cannon fodder, they can at least delay Lin Su's tracking time, as long as he can buy him time to activate the teleportation circle. Old thief Qianqian, where can I escape? When he thought of the scene where the disciples of Spirit Beast Island were slaughtered in his hands, Lin Su felt that raging anger was rushing to his head. How could he allow Su Qianqian to run away like this? There was a loud roar like thunder, and with the 5 elements spirit sword in his hand, his whole body turned into a rainbow light and chased towards Su Qianqian. Ancestor Xiang and others also followed and attacked in the direction of Spirit Beast Island. The Deputy Hall Master has an order: surround them and kill them without mercy. The monks from Xianxia Palace rushed up one by one as if they had been beaten to death. They didn't know what kind of delusion Su Qianqian poured into them. They were completely fierce. Not afraid of death. Whoever stands in the way will die. Lin Su showed no mercy to these monks of Xianxia Temple. The 5 elements spiritual sword in his hand slashed out a stream of indestructible sword energy. All the monks of Xianxia Temple who rushed forward were cut into several pieces, with their heads flying and flesh and blood scattered. Flying across. The ancestors of Xiang were also merciless in their attacks, especially Ye Ping-er. She was usually gentle and kind. Her eyes were blood red at this moment, and she completely transformed into a jade-faced Rakshasa. The monk from Xianxia Temple who died in her hands was definitely no better than Lin Su Xiao. Devil. These people are all demons. The monks of Xianxia Temple have become accustomed to running rampant in the sea of chaotic stars over the years. No force dares to confront them head-on, let alone such a completely one-sided massacre. After the initial bloodshed passed, panic spread quickly. The monks of Xianxia Palace turned around and fled for their lives. They could not care about the orders of Su Qianqian, the deputy palace master. At this time, life-saving was the first priority. They all wanted to die. Mommy, give me 2 more pairs of wings. Damn it! Start it quickly, start it quickly. There is a teleportation circle standing in the center of the inner island of Spirit Beast Island. This was built on the island after Xianxia Palace captured Spirit Beast Island. It can be directly connected to the main hall of Xianxia Palace, but the distance is long and the opening is slow. This is usually not the case. It's nothing to say, but under the current situation, it's going to cost you your life. Su Qianqian's heart is now completely occupied by fear. He originally thought that Lin Su was the only evil star, but he didn't expect that everyone around Lin Su was an evil star. The one with the lowest cultivation level was at the peak of the early Yuanying stage. The cultivation of the old man in purple was no weaker than that of Lin Su. In just a few breaths, most of the monks in Xianxia Temple were killed, and the rest all fled in panic and were defeated. The fear of death enveloped the entire Spirit Beast Island. Looking at the sword light that was getting closer and closer, Su Qianqian's heart was about to jump out of his chest. Feeling Lin Su's overwhelming killing intent, Su Qianqian only felt timid. If this fell into the hands of the other party, he knew with his toes that his end would be extremely tragic. Old thief Qianqian, please accept your fate. Ignoring the monks from Xianxia Temple who were fleeing in all directions, Lin Su rushed straight towards the center of Spirit Beast Island. From a distance, he saw Su Qianqian opening the teleportation circle. With a roar, he took up the dragon essence from his body and injected it into the 5 elements spiritual sword. The sword cuts in vain. The golden sword light, which was like a substance, rushed out from the 5 elements spiritual sword and turned into a 100-foot sword, slashing hard at the top of Su Qianqian's head. The strong wind of sword energy that had not yet hit Su Qianqian's body had already made Su Qianqian's body split and his hair stand on end. Not good. Xianxia Cauldron. The dead souls of Su Qianqian emerged, and without thinking, he sacrificed his life magic weapon Su Tianding to protect it above his head. The Xianxia Cauldron is the most powerful defensive magic weapon for the monks of the Xianxia Temple. It is said that the real Xianxia Cauldron is a magical weapon at the level of an immortal weapon. The one in the hands of Su Qianqian is just an imitation. Its level of power is far inferior to that of the real Xianxia Cauldron. It's so different, even so, it has reached the level of a low-grade spiritual weapon, and ordinary attacks cannot break through its defense. Kaka. The huge sword light struck the Xianxia Cauldron. Although it was blocked, it made a crisp sound and there were faint cracks spreading. The Xianxia Cauldron, which is known as the strongest defense, was unable to block Lin Su's sword light. Su Qianqian's eyes almost popped out when he saw it. Is this the attack power that a late Yuanying monk should have? This evildoer? This monster? No, I must not fall into his hands. Start it quickly, start it quickly. Su Qianqian's heart was full of souls, and he hurriedly stuffed a high-grade spiritual stone into the slot. Suddenly, the entire teleportation array glowed brightly and shook violently, but the teleportation light gate also took shape very quickly. No. Break it for me, Lin Su had already rushed forward at this time. Seeing that Su Qianqian was about to rush into the transmission light door, he yelled and punched the Xianxia Cauldron. The cracked Xianxia Cauldron exploded loudly, and the magic weapon of his life was destroyed. Su Qianqian, who had just rushed into the teleportation circle, groaned and spat out a mouthful of old blood, but his figure still disappeared into the teleportation light gate. Boom! As soon as Su Qianqian's figure disappeared, the entire teleportation circle exploded. Lin Su was caught off guard and was blown away. Fortunately, his current physical strength was comparable to that of a low-grade spiritual weapon, so the power of the explosion was still strong. It won't hurt him, but it's a pity that Su Qianqian ran away. What Lin Su didn't know was that Su Qianqian's original plan was to lure Lin Su into the teleportation circle and bring him to Xianxia Palace, and then join forces with Su Kangxiang and other Yuanying stage monks in Xianxia Palace to trap him. But Lin Su's strength was too abnormal. In order to speed up the opening of the teleportation circle, Su Qianqian had no choice but to fill it with high-grade spiritual stones. The violent energy caused the teleportation circle to explode immediately after taking effect, making this sinister plan aborted. Hit. Damn it! You're a fast runner. I'll let you live a few more days, a hint of evil flashed in Lin Su's eyes. He glanced around, as if he saw the disciples of Spirit Beast Island when Spirit Beast Island was captured. The fallen body spurting blood and the helpless wailing, the boundless murderous intention quickly surged into his heart, and Lin Su's eyes turned red. Kill them all, leaving no one behind. Heartbreaking and chilling sounds echoed in the air across the entire Spirit Beast Island, and a violent aura instantly turned into a huge tornado that enveloped the entire Spirit Beast Island within a radius of hundreds of miles. Feeling the aura of endless sorrow in this violence, Patriarch Xiang and others tightened their hearts, and at the same time, they became more ruthless. Screams, blood, and broken limbs became the general melody of the entire Spirit Beast Island. For half an hour of massacre, all the monks of Xianxia Temple within 100 miles of Spirit Beast Island were killed. I'm fine, don't worry. After the killing was over, Lin Su's mood gradually calmed down, the evil spirit returned to his body, and his blood-red eyes regained their clarity. After all, he was once a Shura of the Yama Palace and had experienced many killings. This killing intention can still under control. Seeing that Lin Su was not carried away by the desire to kill, Zhou and the others couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. They turned their attention to Ye Ping-er, who was standing aside with a miserable expression, and sighed secretly. Sister Ping-er, don't be sad, we will definitely avenge the dead disciples. Leng Lingyu gently patted Ye Ping-er on the shoulder and said. Sister Ping-er, cheer up. The person just now said that the core disciples of Spirit Beast Island were taken over by the monks of Yama Temple. They must be safe now, Zizuier also consoled her. Husband, do you think Uncle Tianxiang and the others are still alive? Ye Ping raised her head and looked at Lin Su helplessly, with a faint mist in her eyes, which made Lin Su feel distressed. Of course, they must be alive. Uncle Tianxiang is a master at the nascent soul stage, and nothing will happen to him so easily. Lin Su hugged Ye Ping and comforted her softly. They must be hiding in Yama City now. Let's go find them now. Don't worry, your husband will definitely help you get revenge, and then we will rebuild Spirit Beast Island. After being comforted by Lin Su and others, Ye Ping's mood finally calmed down. Lin Su flicked his fingers and fired out a trace of soul fire, burning the corpse of the Xianxia temple monk on Spirit Beast Island into nothingness. Husband, shall we go to Yama City now? Len Lingyu asked. Wait a minute, I want to leave a big gift for the monks of Xianxia temple. Lin Su sneered and flipped his palms. Hundreds of huge stones flew up from the Spirit Beast Island, and were distributed along a mysterious trajectory. Around Spirit Beast Island, dozens of formation flags flew out from the spirit field space and were planted on the island. Ping-er, force out a drop of blood. Ye Ping-er complied with the instructions and forced out a drop of blood essence. After Lin Su shot a spell into it, he flicked his finger and the blood essence instantly disappeared into a formation flag in the center of Spirit Beast Island. Mountain and sea formation, Lin Zi, what do you think? Zhang Yunfan's eyes lit up and he laughed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 269. That's right, it's the mountain and sea formation. If we leave now, we will inevitably leave some fish behind. Maybe the people from the Xianxia Palace will come back to check. At that time, let them come and die as many as they want. Lin Su sneered. This is a killing formation of the Sword God sect, called the Mountain and Sea Formation. It is a large formation that combines illusion formation, trapping formation, and killing formation. It was obtained by Zhang Yunfan from the people of the demon section after Lin Su returned to the immortal world. He copied a copy and studied it after hearing Zhang Yunfan mention it. Ye Ping's drop of blood can make the formation play a role in identification. As long as the cultivators of the Spirit Beast Island have practiced the Spirit Beast Island's skills, their blood will naturally have a unique aura. The mountain and sea formation can use this aura to distinguish between friends and enemies. As long as they are cultivators from the Spirit Beast Island, there will be no change at all when they step into the formation, but the rest of the people will cause the formation to change and trap them in it. Of course, this formation can only identify the cultivators of the Spirit Beast Island. It will attack all cultivators who are not from the Spirit Beast Island, which may cause accidental injuries. But now Lin Su can't care so much. At this time, the only people who will come to the Spirit Beast Island are the cultivators of the Xianxia Palace, except for the disciples of the Spirit Beast Island. The possibility of other people being accidentally injured is very small. Lin Su can't let the people of the Xianxia Palace go for this tiny possibility. Lin Zi, your trick is cruel enough. But I like it, brother. This is how to deal with this group of bastards. Zhang Yunfan laughed loudly, and the group took off and flew out of the island. In the inner courtyard of the Huangsu Pavilion of the main hall of the Xianxia Palace. Strange, the teleportation array has been activated. Did they find the location of Yanluo City? Su Kangxian noticed the teleportation array connecting the Spirit Beast Island as soon as it showed signs of activation. This teleportation array is not used for ordinary disciples to travel between Yanluo Palace and the Spirit Beast Island, but is used exclusively by Su Kinkan and Su Kangxian. However, under normal circumstances, Su Kinkan and Su Kangxian would not use this teleportation array unless they encountered an emergency, such as discovering the location of Yanluo City or finding the whereabouts of the remnants of the Spirit Beast Island. What is the situation now? Su Kangxian's doubts did not last long, because the teleportation array suddenly glowed brightly, and the teleportation light gate quickly took shape. Then a bloody figure rolled out of the light gate. It was Su Qinqin. Qinqin, what's wrong with you? Su Kangxian's face suddenly changed, and his heart sank. Not good, something happened to the branch hall on the Spirit Beast Island. Lin Su is back. Su Kangxian fainted after saying this tremblingly. His life treasure was destroyed, and he was seriously injured. In addition, the impact of the explosion of the teleportation array on the Spirit Beast Island, although he still successfully teleported over, was injured. After saying this, he relaxed his mind and could no longer hold on. Like a bolt from the blue, Su Kangxian's face suddenly turned pale, and in his mind, only Su Qinqin's words "Lin Su is back" echoed, and he didn't notice Su Qinqin, who had fainted on the ground. Master, the deputy master fainted. The disciple beside him reminded him in a low voice, and Su Kangxian came to his senses, and hurriedly took out several elixirs and fed them to Su Qinqin, and at the same time injected a stream of true energy into his body to suppress the injury, and Su Qinqin woke up slowly. Qinqin, what happened? You said that little thief Lin Su is back. You were injured in his hands. Su Kangxian gently supported Su Qinqin, and his figure flashed into the inner room of the side hall. After putting Su Qinqin on the bed, he frowned and asked. Palace Master, that little thief Lin Su is indeed back. I was injured by him. Now the branch palace is probably wiped out. Among the cultivators stationed in the branch palace of Xiaoxian Palace on Lingxiao Island, only Su Qinqin reached the nascent soul stage. With Lin Su's terrifying killing intent at the time, those cultivators of Xiaoxian Palace were probably doomed to die. The fact was just as Su Qinqin expected. Qinqin, you have broken through to the late nascent soul stage. Even if you can't defeat that little thief, you should be able to escape easily. How could you be injured so badly? Su Kangxian frowned more and more, waved his hand and said, Don't worry, tell me the situation slowly. Palace Master, you are wrong. The strength of this little thief is much stronger than hundreds of years ago. Su Qinqin coughed a few times, and his luck eased his injuries. Then he described in detail the appearance of Lin Su and others and his desperate escape. Qinqin, are you saying that your Xiaoxian Ding was broken by that little thief's punch? Su Kangxian looked at Su Qinqin in disbelief. Xiaoxian Ding is known as the most powerful defensive magic weapon. Although Su Qinqin's is just a replica, it is also at the level of a low-grade spiritual treasure. It was actually cracked by Lin Su's sword and then shattered by a punch. This is really too much. Even if it was Su Kangxian himself, it would be impossible to destroy the Xiaoxian Ding of the low-grade spiritual treasure level so easily. Lin Su did it with just a flesh fist. What a joke. Is his flesh comparable to a magic weapon? Palace Master, you find it incredible, right? I can't believe it either, but it's true. My Xiaoxian Ding was smashed to pieces by that little thief with one punch. Su Qinqin smiled bitterly. Palace Master, the little thief Lin Su's current strength is too terrifying. I'm afraid that even if we join forces, we may not be his opponent. We have to find a way. If it's really as you said, then my Xiaoxian Palace is probably going to have a catastrophe. A trace of ferocity flashed across Su Kangxian's face. Spirit Beast Island has been destroyed, and the little thief Lin Su will definitely seek revenge on our Xiaoxian Palace. With our current strength, we are no match for him. Unless what? After Su Qinqin asked this question, he seemed to remember something, and a look of horror appeared on his face. Could it be, Palace Master, you want to use? No. The magic array kills too many people, it is against the harmony of heaven, and if you really want to activate it, there will be only a few people left in Xiaoxian Palace. Humph. Against the harmony of heaven? What is harmony of heaven? Cultivating immortals is to go against the will of heaven. What does the death of a few people mean? Kinkan, don't forget, if we can't destroy Lin Su, our Xianxia palace will also end up destroyed. Su Kangxiang's eyes flashed with cold light, and his voice was as cold as the 10,000 years of ice in the 9 nether hell. Alas! A helpless sigh sounded in the inner room. Damn it, this is already the 4th city. How many branches of Yama Palace are exposed? After leaving the Spirit Beast Island, Lin Su and others went to the nearby city, intending to go to Yama City from the branches of Yama Palace via the teleportation array. However, the branches of Yama Palace in 4 consecutive cities have been destroyed by Xianxia Palace. Lin Su's heart was shrouded in a haze. Don't worry, my husband. The branches of Yama Palace are spread all over the Chaos Star Sea. Xianxia Palace can only find a few. Let's look for them again. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 270. The situation was not as simple as Lin Su thought. What the captain of Xianxia Palace said before was that only a few branches of Yanluo Palace were destroyed by Xianxia Palace was definitely not true. However, it was not as bad as Lin Su and his team thought. After more than 10 cities of Yanluo Palace branches were found to be destroyed, Lin Su and his team finally got good news in Piaoxiu City. The branches here were still intact. Lin Su's sudden appearance surprised the people of Yanluo Palace, and then they were overjoyed. The great elder Lin Su, who had disappeared for more than 450 years, reappeared. This was great news for Yanluo Palace. At that moment, the people of the Piaoxiu City branch activated the teleportation array and sent Lin Su and his team to the headquarters of Yanluo City. The people of Yanluo City were so happy to hear the news of Lin Su's return. Elder Lin Sulin is an absolutely legendary figure in the Yama Palace. He became the 5th Shura of the Yama Palace in the shortest time. He was the most outstanding disciple in the God and Demon secret realm. When he was in the Jindan stage, he was able to challenge the deputy hall master of the Xianxia Palace and beat him like a dog. After following the king of Yama into the Tianling realm, he successfully found the space channel leading to the spiritual world and brought back the news. Moreover, his cultivation broke through to the Yuanying stage and overwhelmed the hall master of the Xianxia Palace, Su Kangxiang. Not only that, in the 200 years since Lin Su left, it was because of fear of his existence that the Xianxia Palace did not dare to make any big moves. It was only after it was sure that Lin Su would not come back that the Xianxia Palace launched an attack on the Yama Palace. Facts have proved that without a top powerhouse like Lin Su, the Yama Palace could not fight against the Xianxia Palace at all, even if it joined forces with the Spirit Beast Island. Fortunately, Yanluo City is secretive enough. Apart from the teleportation array, even the top leaders of the Spirit Beast Island do not know how to reach Yanluo City from other ways. After paying the price of several branches being destroyed, they finally succeeded in rescuing the core disciples of the Spirit Beast Island and transferring them to Yanluo City. After that, they were extremely low-key. Once a branch was in danger of being exposed, they would decisively give up transferring the personnel back to Yanluo City and destroy the teleportation array at the same time. This is why Lin Su and his team saw only empty scenes in the branches of the Yanluo Palace in more than 10 cities. They were not broken by the Xianxia Palace, but most of them gave up voluntarily. A lean camel is bigger than a horse. Although the Yanluo Palace has completely kept a low profile due to the pressure from the Xianxia Palace and its activities in the Chaos Star Sea have been greatly reduced, the more than 100 years of cultivation and recuperation have also greatly improved their strength, especially after the core forces of the Spirit Beast Island entered Yanluo City. The two forces have completely united, sharing skills, resources and cultivation experience, and their overall strength has been greatly improved. The bald man Tianyuan has broken through to the middle stage of the nascent soul, and several cultivators in the early stage of the nascent soul have also appeared. If the top forces were not inferior to the Xianxia Palace, and no one could restrain Xianxia and Xianxia, the Yama Palace and the Spirit Beast Island would have sounded the clarion call for a counter-attack long ago. Now that Lin Su has returned, the passion of the disciples of the Yama Palace and the Spirit Beast Island has been completely ignited. With the return of a top master like Lin Su, Xianxia and Xianxia are nothing. The time to completely counter-attack the Xiushan Palace has finally come. Lin Zi, you bastard has been gone for more than 400 years. I thought you would never come back. After serving as the master of the Yama Palace for more than 400 years, the bald man Tianyuan has matured a lot compared to before, and his temperament has undergone earth-shaking changes. But when he saw Lin Su, he was uncharacteristically, holding Lin Su and patting him on the back. The disciples of the Yama Palace nearby all stared at the scene with wide eyes. Compared to Lin Su, the supreme elder who only existed in legends, they were too familiar with the bald man Tianyuan, the palace master. The palace master usually looked cold and stern. When had he ever shown such a heroic performance? It seems that the palace master and elder Lin are good brothers who share life and death. The legend of their extremely close relationship is really true. Who said I won't come back? Did I say that? Lin Su rolled his eyes. This bastard was definitely intentional. He even used the power of true essence to pat his back. Fortunately, his physical body was strong. If it were someone else, he would definitely be slapped with internal injuries. Uncle Tianxiang. Ye Ping'er looked at the group of people who hurried in from the gate, and her eyes suddenly turned red. These people were the cultivators of the Spirit Beast Island. The leader was the current owner of the Spirit Beast Island, Ye Tianxiang, who was also the closest person to Ye Ping'er since she was a child except for her father Ye Wuji. Miss. You're finally back. It's good to be back, it's good to be back. Gently patting Ye Ping'er's back, Ye Tianxiang's voice was trembling with excitement. He looked up and saw Lin Su standing next to the bald man Tianyuan. Ye Tianxiang's eyes flashed, and the joy on his face became stronger. The son-in-law is back too. Good, it's great. Now we have hope for revenge on Spirit Beast Island. Although he had already taken over as the owner of Spirit Beast Island, Ye Tianxiang still habitually called Ye Ping'er the eldest lady and Lin Su the son-in-law. Uncle Tianxiang, Lin Su nodded at Ye Tianxiang, with a smile on his lips. He had already seen that Ye Tianxiang's cultivation had also been raised to the middle stage of the nascent soul, just like the bald man Tianyuan. It seemed that they had made great progress over the years. However, both the bald man and Ye Tianxiang are still quite far away from the late nascent soul stage, not to mention compared with Su Kangkong who has reached the great perfection of the late nascent soul stage. Although the bald man Tianyuan is also a genius with extraordinary combat power, not everyone has a Demon King level fairy bear like Lin Su to borrow power from, so naturally they are no match for Su Kangkong. Lin Zi, didn't you go back to the world of immortality? Why did you suddenly appear again? 450 years have passed, and the bald man Tianyuan has long lost hope for Lin Su's return, although he really wants to risk everything and fight with Xiushan Palace. He tried his best, but he also knew that this was a show of bravery, so he could only endure and stay in Yama City, waiting for the day when his cultivation reached the late nascent soul stage before counter-attacking. But things are different now, Lin Su is back, and they finally don't have to endure it anymore. What do you mean by suddenly appearing? I didn't say I won't come back. Lin Su rolled his eyes. Tianyuan, have you forgotten that the heavenly spirit world is about to return to the human world? Or are you not interested in going to the spirit world at all? No. This is the city lord's mansion, and the people present are all the core figures of Yama Palace and Spirit Beast Island. They have long been interested in matters in the Tianling realm, so Lin Su did not hide it. That's right. There are still a few decades to go until the 500th year, and the heavenly spirit realm may come at any time. Alas, I have been busy cultivating all these years and have forgotten about it. The bald man Tianyuan slapped his forehead. Lin Zi, didn't you say that you can only go to the spirit world when you reach the late nascent soul stage? What, you want me to go with you? Is that okay? The bald man's voice quietly sounded in Lin Su's ears. Lin Su glanced at the bald man in surprise. Okay, this boy has become a lot more cunning. He knew that he asked quietly in secret. He has not been the master of the palace all these years in vain. Who stipulates that you must be in the late nascent soul stage before you can go to the spirit world? I remember this is what I said, right? We are good brothers. Can this rule be applied to others? Can it be applied to you? Don't forget about heaven. It takes at least 500 years for the spirit world to come to the human world. Do you still want to wait for another 500 years? Lin Su replied through a message. Stay for another 500 years, the bald man suddenly shuddered. As the master of the palace, he was just chasing a duck. He has been enough for more than 450 years. If it were not to fight against Xianxia Palace, he would have been there long ago. I just want to give up my pick. Of course I want to go to the spirit world. But if I leave like this, what will happen to the Yama Palace? Although Suidao and Chen Tian have reached the early stage of nascent soul, they are no match for the Xianxia Palace. The bald man was moved. Yes, send the message quietly. Xianxia Palace? Huh? Tianyuan, do you think it is still necessary for Xianxia Palace to exist? Lin Su did not transmit the sentence, but said it directly. Although everyone was confused by Lin Su's meaningless words, it was a little strange, but he was attracted by the content of Lin Su's words, and all his eyes lit up. Lin Zi, are you saying that we are going to counterattack the Xianxia Palace? There was a hint of excitement in the tone of the bald man Tianyuan. It's not a counterattack. Let Xianxia Palace disappear completely in the Chaos Star Sea. A cold gleam flashed in Lin Su's eyes. It's time to settle the blood debt that Xianxia Palace committed against Spirit Beast Island and Yama Palace. Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay. I have finally waited for this day. The most excited person is not the bald man Tianyuan, nor Ye Ping-er, but the Spirit Beast Island monks headed by Ye Tianxiang. Since the fall of Tiandian, Ye Tianxiang has never forgotten to take revenge on Xianxia Palace. Great Elder, when will we counterattack? Should we take back Spirit Beast Island first? Due to the suppression by Xianxia Palace, the news from Yamamoto Palace has been blocked a lot. The news that all the Xianxia Palace monks on Spirit Beast Island have been wiped out has not been reported until now. It hasn't reached Yama City yet. Of course, this is also related to Xianxia Palace's intention to block the news. Take back Spirit Beast Island? No need. Lin Su raised his eyebrows. Why? With your strength, Great Elder, we will definitely be able to take back Spirit Beast Island. It's been 300 years, and there's not a day that goes by that we don't want to take back Spirit Beast Island. The disciples who proposed taking back Spirit Beast Island started shouting. Yes, uncle, now that you and the eldest lady are back, we can definitely take back Spirit Beast Island. Yet Tianxiang was also very puzzled. Lin Su and the others did not hide their cultivation. Lin Su had obviously reached the peak of the late Yuanying stage, and Ye Ping-er had also reached the peak of the early stage of the Yuanying stage. With the two of them joining, and the core strength remaining on Spirit Beast Island, could they? Yet Tianxiang cannot guarantee that Xianxia Palace will be completely destroyed, but there is absolutely no problem in taking back Spirit Beast Island. Why does Lin Su object? Ye Ping-er answered this question in everyone's mind. Husband, please stop showing off. Haven't we already taken back Spirit Beast Island? Took it back. Is it true? The monks on Spirit Beast Island all stared at Lin Su with their eyes wide open, waiting for him to reveal the truth. Lin Su didn't speak, but Zhang Yunfan couldn't help it. He was a familiar character. He had been silent before, but now he couldn't help it anymore. That's right, it's not just about taking it back. Su Tian, all the monks stationed on Spirit Beast Island have been wiped out by us, but it's a pity that the old bastard Su Qianqian escaped. What's going on, this senior? My name is Zhang Yunfan. Senior Zhang, please tell us. Looking at the longing eyes of everyone, Zhang Yunfan smiled. Since Lin Su didn't want to be in the limelight, he was not polite and started narrating vividly. Lin Su looked at the eloquent and lively Zhang Yunfan, smiled and shook his head without saying anything. This was something he did intentionally. Zhang Yunfan was his good brother and a restless person, so he just gave up this opportunity to be in the limelight. Give it to him so that he can get acquainted with the people of Spirit Beast Island and Yama Palace as soon as possible. Good kill. For those damn bastards, you should kill 1 on sight, 2 on sight. It's a pity that I wasn't here and couldn't cut off the heads of those thieves with my own hands. After listening to Zhang Yunfan's detailed narration, everyone on the Spirit Beast Island was excited, wishing they were there at the time to participate in the hearty revenge battle. Don't worry, Xianxia Palace owes a debt to the Spirit Beast Island and the Yama Palace, we will make them pay double. Seeing that everyone's emotions had been mobilized, Lin Su coughed lightly and said, retaking the Spirit Beast Island is only the first step. The next step is to launch a full-scale attack to eliminate all the strongholds of Xianxia Palace in various places, force them back to the main hall, and let them also taste the taste of being at the end of the road. How can the end of the road be enough? Once they are forced back to the main hall, it will be the day of a large-scale attack, and Xianxia Palace will completely disappear in the Chaos Star Sea, Zhang Yunfan added, which immediately caused a round of applause. Everyone looked at him with eyes full of admiration and a common enemy. The tone of the counter-attack was set. Just as Lin Su proposed, the Spirit Beast Island and the Yama Palace no longer huddled in Yama City, but began to attack from all sides to destroy the strongholds of the Xianxia Palace in the Chaos Star Sea one by one. Once hundreds of years of hatred broke out, it was quite terrifying. Lin Su didn't even need to take action. The various branch halls of the Xianxia Palace in the Chaos Star Sea were destroyed one after another by the coalition forces of the two forces full of anger. Without Su Kangxiang and Su Qianqian taking action, the Xianxia Palace monks in these branch halls could not stop the murderous coalition forces of the two forces. However, in just half a year, all the branch halls of the Xianxia Palace in the Spirit Beast Island were breached, and all the Xianxia Palace monks in them were slaughtered. The monks of the two forces filled with hatred and anger were merciless. Lin Su did not organize this crazy revenge and slaughter, because this was his intention. Blood debts must be paid with blood. If you repay grievances with virtue, how can you repay virtue? Being kind to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. If they showed mercy to the cultivators of Xianxia Palace today, their friends and relatives might die tragically at the hands of the enemy tomorrow. If you don't uproot the grass, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. This is already a war to the death.